Caps down 1, 5-4, bottom of the 8th inning. Carlos Mendoza leads off. The one you want up at the plate. A situation like this, .419 on base percentage. He's made a reputation out of getting on any way he can. Launches one in there for a strike. The 0-1 he takes up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, an exciting weekend here in West Michigan. Job getting the start tonight. Spencer Turnbull, as we mentioned, getting the start. Another rehab start tomorrow. Mendoza hesitates, called a strike on the inside half, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But coming up next homestand, we got another Made in Michigan Wednesday coming up. And you're going to want to come out to see if you can get an opportunity to get a signature from and potentially meet someone else that's played a lot recently in Detroit. We saw Lomas Brown, former offensive tackle for the Detroit Lions. He was here earlier this year signing autographs, but on the next Made in Michigan Wednesday, another familiar name, someone that's actually on the radio for the Lions. This one's down low, now evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. TJ Lang will be in attendance for Made in Michigan Wednesday. Played at Brother Rice, then went to Eastern Michigan University to play his college ball. This one's dribbled to the left side and into left field.
It's kind of seamlessly transitioned to media as well.
Yeah, he's done a good job too. Big on Twitter, huge name in the Detroit sports community. So Mendoza gets on first. That'll bring in Luke Gold with a man on and nobody out. Down 5-4. Went to Eastern Michigan, was a two-way player, eventually just decided to play offensive guard. Started his career with the Green Bay Packers where he won a Super Bowl. And joined the Lions a little bit later in his career, and then after retiring, now joined the radio team. This one nearly takes Gold's head off. High and inside, 1 ball and no strikes. And as someone who played football once upon a time and someone who played offensive guard, it should be a fun conversation. This one runs inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Of course, not that far off from football season at all, Jeremy. I know for high school ball, we're about 4 weeks away. College football is coming up here shortly, under a month away from the kickoff of college football. But for the Lions, we've talked about it already on this broadcast. The expectations are set. Now the only thing is, can they meet them?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation to be in, right? There's not a lot of negative around. I mean, we've heard plenty of negative, plenty of positive preseason, but this is about as positive as you can think of in the last 10, maybe more years.
It's a fair point. Runner on first, nobody out, 2-0. Gold floats one back our direction. Bounce off the top of the roof. Back over by the press box, 2 balls and 1 strike.
But of all coaching staffs, maybe to deal with that, I think this one's a good one. I mean, there's definite, hey, we got to do our business, but there's also a little bit of lightheartedness there as well, which I think is important.
Gold again just a little bit under 1 as he shoots this one foul off to the right side. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sometimes the best indicator of the future is the past. And when you look at the way that they were able to finish last season, specifically on the offensive side, you think you beef up the defense a little bit. Now you have a product that you can go out and win with. And, when you're one of the only teams in the top 10 in terms of offense that didn't make the playoffs, I think that tells a lot. 2-2, Heater hangs upstairs. 3 balls and 2 strikes against Gold.
Well, let's face it, I know there wasn't a lot to be had in the last game as well at Green Bay for the Lions. Obviously a lot to be had for the Packers, but that's impressive in itself. I mean, going in there and doing that and knocking somebody out, you've struggled with mightily over the years.
This one inside, ball 4. Mendoza scoots up to second. Luke Gold draws the walk. And much like Fort Wayne had 2 on with nobody out in the last half, West Michigan returning the favor. First and second, nobody gone in the bottom of the 8th. Here's Brady Allen. Last time he was up, 2-run triple before he came around to score what was the game-tying run. Now Fort Wayne up 5-4. Behind this one, fouled off to the right side. TinCaps do have some activity down in their bullpen, though. Keegan Collette warming up right now for the TinCaps. Allen rips it into left. Mendoza stops at third. Everybody moves up a base. It's bases loaded. Nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 8th.
I think that's the right call for Brian Pena as well. He was standing way down the third baseline, about halfway to home. Fabian was playing pretty shallow. He got to the ball quickly, ended up firing it off, kilter just a little bit, but you get yourself a really good situation here with the bases juiced and no outs. Still the good part of your lineup up. Alfonso coming in hot after his RBI single earlier. Let's keep this thing going in the 8th.
I agree. Let's keep it going. Down 1, bases loaded, nobody out. We'll have a meeting on the mound here for the Fort Wayne TinCaps. By the way, do have our attendance number for the game tonight. 6,983, so just a few people shy of 7,000. Approaching 250,000 so far this season. It's been a really good year here in West Michigan, and just a little bit shy of that 7,000, but based off of the volume we've heard, specifically in this inning, doesn't seem too far off from some of our biggest crowds this year. On a night where we celebrate the thing that makes our city great, in the Grand River, how grand would it be to see a comeback victory? Game tying run on third, go ahead run on second, Alfonso at the plate. As he sends one in the right. One scores. Everybody moves up a base. We're tied at 5.
But just a little station to station here in the 8th. Single walk, single. Trying to do too much with that swing. Just able to find green grass in right field. Beautiful.
There's a reason why he's still regarded as a top 30 prospect for the Detroit Tigers. That's it right there. Here's Roberto Campos. Fastball runs inside, 1 ball and no strikes. The ship has not sailed on Elias or Alfonso by any means. I know it's been a struggle to stay healthy at times, but coming through clutch in this one tonight. Campos to left field, it's down! Gold scores! Allen is home! 2-run double for Roberto Campos! Caps jump out in front, it's now 7-5.
Well, in every at bat, it just feels like they're in control, doesn't it? Here in the 8th inning. That's going to chase him out of here in the 8th. It appears.
An unbelievable rally for the Caps. Single walk, single, and then the big swing from Roberto Campos. A 2-run double. It's a 7-5 lead for the Caps. Nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. We'll take a step aside, be right back. Caps having all sorts of fun late in this one. Right here on the Whitecaps Baseball Network. 7-5 lead, bottom of the 8th. Still nobody out. Everybody just handing the bat off to the next person in line. Crouch watches one dip in there for a strike on the inside black. No balls and 1 strike. This is how it's gone. Single, walk, single. An RBI single from Elias or Alfonso, and then a 2-run double for Roberto Campos. As he cuts and misses. Josh Crouch, that is, makes it no balls and 2 strikes. And this is an area that the Caps have not necessarily excelled in this year. Trailing after the 8th, or rather after the 7th inning, 2-31. Little chin music for Crouch. Bails out of the zone, frustrated. So turned back and looked at Cass Cousins, and now a ton of boos raining down from the stands. Can't imagine that's intentional. Check swing on one inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And given the situation, I don't think that's intentional.
No, that's what came to my mind as well. I mean, you've already seen 3 runs come across, still no outs, 2 more runners in scoring position. Your infield playing in. I doubt it.
That one grabs the outer edge, strike 3. Down goes Crouch. Some more boos from the fans in attendance. 1 out. Dylan Paulson to dig in next.
There's no history in this game. I mean, that was his first batter as well. I mean, it's not like anything else has happened.
You get a crowd riled up late in the game. You know, they're going to react certain ways about certain things. It is what it is. But here's Dylan Paulson, still second and third. Caps would love some auto owner's insurance. In there at the knees, no balls and 1 strike. One game we did not update you on a little bit earlier, and I apologize for it, is the Tigers game. It has gone final, 5-0 win for the Tigers today. That one's in there. No balls and 2 strikes. Miguel Cabrera, back in Florida where it all began, had a standing ovation after coming out of the game today, won a series with the Marlins once upon a time. Paulson, deep to left field. Fabian got a late jump on it, makes the catch, should be deep enough. Breaking for home is Alfonso, add 1 more. It's 8-5 here in the 8th. Do your job. Do the little things right. That's what good teams do. That's what the Caps have done here in the 8th inning. They got a 3-run lead.
And how about that catch by this man earlier? Aiming to be pretty big.
Yeah, proven to be huge in this game. Johnson watches a fastball hang upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. But it was Bo Brisky who got the start in the Tigers game today. 2 innings, no runs, pair of strikeouts. Joey Wentz got his 2nd victory of the year. Fastball just sneaks over the outside half. 1 ball and 1 strike. Akil Baddoo with a homer, though, his 5th so far on the year. A 3-run shot. And then, as we talked about earlier, Riley Green a homer, too. Solo homer in that game for Green. Fastball in there for a strike, 1 and 2. It's been a tough start to the Midwest League assignment for Dom Johnson. Just 6 for his first 54 at-bats here in the Midwest League. Could use a big swing here on 1 and 2. Doesn't need to. Fastball way upstairs. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. And as we talked about earlier, Jeremy, maybe the playoffs not a possibility for the Tigers this year, but certainly a chance to do some damage in the offseason. Even at the trade deadline for that matter. The 2-2. Breaking ball, and it's a swing and a miss. In the dirt, throw down to first is in time, and that will retire Johnson for the